Beloved, let me tell you something. Every morning when your eyes open, you are not just waking up, you are stepping into divine opportunity. You didn't get up by your own power. Breath filled your lungs because God said, live again. That means there is purpose on your life today. Now, I don't care what yesterday looked like. Yesterday may have left you bruised. Yesterday may have left you crying yourself to sleep. But this morning, this morning is a fresh canvas painted by the hand of God himself. And the first brushstroke he wrote across your sky is favor, or. So don't you dare crawl out of bed with defeat on your lips. Don't you drag yourself into the mirror rehearsing old failures. You've got to wake up, stand tall, and look yourself in the eye and declare, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice. I will smile. I will walk in God's favor. Because when you simmer hell, you're not just showing teeth. You're prophesying to your own soul. You're telling fear, you don't win today. You're telling depression, back up, I've got joy. You're telling doubt, I am who God says I am, and nothing can stop his favor on my life. See, favor doesn't check your RA summit. Favor doesn't ask if you've got the right last name, the right connections, or the right degree. Favor says, I choose you because God chose you. And when God puts his hand on you, no devil in hell can take it off. So wake up, smile like a child who knows the Father has already prepared blessings at the table. Smile like you understand that doors you didn't even knock on are about to swing wide. Smile like today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, but Todai is your day of God's favor. Walk out of here knowing the same God who woke you up will walk with you through every trial. And when you open your mouth with faith, heaven backs you up. Now lift your head, square your shoulders, and tell the atmosphere around you, Teodai is my day of God's favor, and I will not be denied. Every morning when you wake up, it is not just another day on the calendar. It is not just the alarm clock ringing or the sunlight slipping through your blinds. It is God himself breathing purpose into your lungs and giving you another chance to walk in destiny. Waking up is evidence that you are not finished yet, that there is more for you to do, more for you to see, more for you to accomplish. Every time your feet hit the floor, heaven announces, assignment still active. And that means you cannot treat a new morning like it is ordinary. It is not ordinary. It is divine opportunity. Think about it. How many people laid down last night and didn't get the chance to see today, but you did? That means you are standing in a gift that money cannot buy and no power on earth can manufacture. Life is not a coincidence. It is intentional. When you rise up out of that bed, you are walking into a moment designed by the Creator. He orchestrated the sunrise for you. He set the air in motion for you. He cleared the path for you to step into something greater than you have ever known. That is why you cannot allow the weight of yesterday to steal the wonder of today. Yesterday may have brought pain, mistakes, disappointment, and failure. But when God wakes you up, he is saying, I am not done blessing you. I am not done teaching you. I am not done showing you my goodness. Every morning is a reset button. Every morning is God saying, let's try again. The question is, are you aware enough to recognize the opportunity wrapped in the ordinary? Too often we jump into our routines and forget that life itself is miraculous. We get dressed. We scroll through our phones, we sip our coffee, and we don't stop to realize that the mere fact we are still here means we are standing under heaven's spotlight. If you only wake up and rush into the day, you will miss the quiet whisper of God saying, I chose you for this moment. But when you pause and open your eyes to the truth that every new day is a divine invitation, you begin to live with intention. It doesn't matter what your background looks like. It doesn't matter how many times you stumbled yesterday. It doesn't matter who walked out on you or who doubted you. Waking up means God has not walked out. He has not given up. His hand is still on you. That should make you rise with gratitude. That should put a smile on your face before you even check your messages or look at your bank account. Because favor is not determined by what's in your wallet, but by who woke you up this morning. So don't crawl out of bed carrying the bitterness of the past. Don't drag yourself into another day rehearsing the voice of defeat. Lift your head, breathe deep, and remind yourself, I am alive. And because I am alive, God has a plan for me today. When you wake up with that awareness, your steps become purposeful, your words carry weight, and your spirit carries expectation. You begin to look for doors instead of staring at walls. You begin to see opportunities instead of obstacles. Every morning is God's announcement that you are still in the race. It is His way of saying, I trust you with another chance. Don't waste it. Don't overlook it. Step into it. Smile, breathe, and move forward knowing that if He woke you up, He has already lined up favor for you. And that means today is not just another day. It is a divine opportunity written by the author of life Himself. Yesterday can be a heavy weight if you allow it to follow you into today. The regrets, the failures, the words that hurt, the opportunities that slip through your fingers. All of it has a way of clinging to your spirit. But when you wake up in the morning, you are not supposed to live trapped in what has already passed. The sun rises as a reminder that no matter how dark the night was, God always brings a new beginning. Yesterday's failures do not cancel today's favor. So many people spend their mornings replaying yesterday's mistakes. They look in the mirror and see only the scars of what went wrong. But you must understand that yesterday has no authority over the grace that meets you today. Grace is renewed every morning, fresh like dew on the grass, untouched by yesterday's storms. God does not recycle old mercy. He gives you brand new mercy for brand new opportunities. That means whatever was broken yesterday does not have the power to ruin the beauty of this new day unless you let it. Your past failures do not intimidate God. He does not look at your missteps and withdraw His hand. In fact, His favor shines brightest when you have fallen short because His strength is made perfect in your weakness. The enemy will whisper in your ear, you messed up too badly. You missed your chance. You are disqualified. But every sunrise preaches back to you. You are still chosen. You are still loved. You are still favored. Think of how often people let yesterday rob them of today. A broken relationship yesterday becomes fear of loving today. A missed opportunity yesterday becomes hesitation to try today. A failure in business yesterday becomes doubt about your future today. But God did not design your life to be chained to the mistakes of the past. He designed your life to move from glory to glory, from strength to strength, from lesson to lesson. Failure is not a full stop. It is a comma. Yesterday may have slowed you down, but today can set you back on course. When God paints the canvas of today, He doesn't use the brushstrokes of yesterday's pain. He dips His brush into the colors of hope, of peace, of joy, of restoration. Every morning He says, behold, I make all things new. That is why you must wake up with expectation. Expect doors to open. Expect joy to return. Expect strength to rise. Because the favor on today has no expiration date tied to yesterday's failures. Do not let shame talk louder than favor. Shame tells you that you are what you did. Favor tells you that you are who God says you are. Shame tries to drag yesterday into today like an unwanted shadow. Favor says, this is a day the Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad in it. If you rehearse yesterday's defeats, you will step into today already defeated. But if you embrace today's favor, you will walk with authority, knowing that God's plan for you is unstoppable. You are not defined by your worst day. You are refined by God's best mercy. Yesterday might have bruised you, but it did not break you. Yesterday might have humbled you, but it also prepared you. Today, God's favor covers you like a shield. His goodness surrounds you, and His grace goes before you. That means you are free to release the weight of yesterday and embrace the opportunity of today. Lift your head and remind yourself, I will not let what happened yesterday control what God has for me today. I will not miss my moment of favor by living in the past. Step boldly into today, because yesterday's failures are powerless in the presence of God's favor. When you open your mouth in the morning, what you say sets the course for the rest of your day. Your declaration is not just empty words floating in the air. It is a seed planted into the soil of your atmosphere. The Bible says that life and death are in the power of the tongue, which means the very words you speak have the authority to build or to tear down, to bless or to curse, to open or to close. Too often, people wake up rehearsing negativity. They drag themselves out of bed saying, "I'm so tired, nothing ever works for me. This day is going to be hard." And guess what? Their words become a prophecy, and their day bends itself to match the declaration that came out of their own mouths. But when you wake up with faith and authority, something begins to shift. When you look in the mirror and say, "Today is my day of God's favor," you are not just talking to yourself. You are announcing to every force of darkness, to every doubt, to every challenge that God has already gone ahead of you. You are commanding your mind to focus on promise instead of problem. You are giving your soul an instruction to rise above discouragement. You are placing your heart in alignment with heaven's agenda. Declaration is not just for the strong, it is for the struggling. Because when you declare something in faith, you are not speaking from where you are. You are speaking from where you are going. You may not feel favored, but you declare favor anyway. You may not see opportunities, but you declare open doors anyway. You may still hear the echo of failure from yesterday, but you declare victory anyway. Why? Because declaration brings your spirit into agreement with God's word, and when agreement is established, power is released. Think about how creation began. God did not build the world with his hands. He spoke it into existence. He said, "Let there be," and it was. That same creative power is placed inside of you when you open your mouth with faith. Your declaration has the ability to create light in dark places. It has the ability to build bridges where walls have stood. It has the ability to shape today into a day of favor. That is why the enemy wants to silence your voice or fill your mouth with complaint. Because he knows that if you ever open your mouth with conviction and declare God's favor, the atmosphere has no choice but to obey. You have to train yourself to speak life, even when circumstances are screaming the opposite. When bills are piling up, declare that God is your provider. When your body feels weak, declare that by his stripes you are healed. When opportunities seem far away, declare that doors will open no man can shut. Your declaration may not instantly change your situation, but it will immediately change you. And when you change, the atmosphere around you begins to shift in your favor. It is not enough to think positive thoughts. You must open your mouth and speak them. Silent faith is powerful, but spoken faith is explosive. Your declaration is the trumpet that tells the walls of Jericho to fall. Your declaration is the rod that parts the Red Sea. Your declaration is the shout that brings Lazarus out of the tomb. When you speak it, heaven hears it and earth responds to it. So tomorrow morning, don't just stumble out of bed. Open your mouth with intention. Speak over your life, your family, your career, your future. Say it with boldness that today is my day of God's favor. And don't stop there. Say it until your spirit believes it. Say it until your situation reflects it. Say it until your atmosphere shifts, because your declaration shapes your day. And when you declare God's favor, you invite heaven's power to walk with you every step of the way. A smile may look small to the world, but in the spiritual realm, it is a weapon. It is more than the curve of your lips or a show of good mood. It is a declaration of victory in the face of struggle. Smiling when life is easy is natural, but smiling when storms are raging is supernatural. That is why when you wake up and put a smile on your face, you are not just responding to how you feel. You are prophesying to your own soul. You are saying, no matter what tries to come against me today, joy will not be stolen. Peace will not be shaken. Hope will not be silenced. A fear wants to grip you the moment you wake up. Doubt wants to crawl into your thoughts before your feet even touch the floor. Anxiety wants to make its home in your chest. Depression wants to weigh you down before you even begin. But your smile is your rebellion against those forces. It is your way of saying, I refuse to bow to despair. I refuse to let fear be the loudest voice in my head. I refuse to surrender to hopelessness. Smiling is not denial of problems. It is defiance against the power those problems want to hold over you. When you smile in faith, you are announcing that you know something the enemy does not. You are declaring that God is still on the throne, that his hand is still on your life, and that his favor still surrounds you. A smile becomes a shield covering your mind and heart. It confuses the adversary because he expects your pain to silence your joy. But when you smile anyway, it is proof that your hope is rooted in something greater than circumstances. Your smile is not just for you. It is also a testimony to others. People may not hear your sermon. They may not read your Bible. They may not know your prayers. But when they see you smile in the midst of trials, they see evidence of God's strength alive in you. Your smile says, yes, I've been through some things, but I still have peace. Yes, life tried to break me, but I still have joy. Yes, challenges came, but favor still rests on me. That kind of smile preaches louder than words ever could. The truth is, your smile is also a message to your own body. Science tells us that smiling releases chemicals that ease stress and increase happiness. But faith tells us smiling also releases spiritual power. When you smile, you remind yourself that you are not a prisoner of your emotions. You are a steward of your spirit. You are saying to your heart, lift up your head. You are loved, you are chosen, and you are covered in favor. Sometimes smiling is the hardest thing to do, but it is also the most necessary. Smiling is not pretending everything is fine. It is declaring that everything will be all right because God is still in control. It is saying, I may not see the breakthrough yet, but I will smile because I know it's on the way. I may not feel strong right now, but I will smile because his strength is made perfect in my weakness. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't let heaviness be the first thing you wear. Before you pick out your clothes, put on your smile. Let it be your armor. Let it be your testimony. Let it be your declaration of faith. Smile when you are uncertain. Smile when you are waiting. Smile when you are hurting. Because every time you smile, you are waging war against despair and announcing to heaven and earth, the joy of the Lord is my strength, and today I choose to walk in it. A favor is not something you can earn with effort, buy with money, or win through connections. Favor is the sovereign choice of God. It is his hand reaching down to lift you into places you could never reach on your own. That is why when you wake up and declare that today is your day of God's favor, you are reminding yourself that your life is not limited by human approval. What people think about you cannot stop what God has spoken over you. What doors others have shut cannot cancel the doors has already ordained to open. Favor is God's stamp, and once it is placed on you, no one can peel it off. Too often we measure our worth and our future by what others say about us. We wait for validation from family, from friends, from bosses, from society. And when they overlook us or disapprove of us, we begin to shrink back and believe that maybe we are not qualified. But divine favor does not check our ASUM diplomas or last names. It does not look for the perfect record or the flawless background. Favor says, I choose you in spite of what others disqualified. I choose you in spite of your past. I choose you because I see in you what others cannot. I think of David in the fields. His own father did not even invite him into the lineup when Samuel came to anoint a king. People looked at his brothers and saw qualifications. God looked at David and saw favor. That same principle applies to your life. Others may not see your potential, but God's favor singles you out, pulls you forward, and places you where no human hand could have positioned you. Favor is the difference between being overlooked and being chosen. You may not have the credentials others demand, but when God's favor is on you, he will place you in rooms you are not qualified for. You may not have the connections that people say you need, but when God's favor is on you, he will cause the right people to cross your path. You may not have the strength to climb every mountain, but when God's favor is on you, mountains will move. Favor bends the rules. Favor shifts the system. Favor breaks through the barriers of culture, tradition, and expectation. And here is the beauty of it. Favor is not fair. That is why it frustrates the enemy. That is why it confuses your critics. Because favor will lift you where effort could not. Favor will bless you when others think you don't deserve it. Favor will open doors that have been locked for generations. It does not make sense because it is not supposed to. Favor is supernatural. When you live aware of favor, you stop being intimidated by who is against you. You stop living for applause and you start living in alignment with God's will. You stop comparing yourself to others because you understand that what God has placed on you is unique. His favor is tailor-made for your journey. No one can take it. No one can duplicate it. No one can replace it. So when you rise in the morning, remind yourself, I don't need man's approval to walk in God's favor. I don't need to prove myself to be chosen. I already carry his stamp. Favor is God's yes that overrides every no spoken over your life. Favor is his promise that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Favor is his assurance that you are seen, loved, and elevated in his timing. And once favor is on your life, you can walk with confidence knowing that what God has for you, no one can take away. Walking in expectation is not arrogance. It is faith. It is waking up with the assurance that God has already gone ahead of you, preparing opportunities, opening doors, and arranging divine appointments. Too many people live with a mindset of survival, just hoping to make it through the day, waiting for something good to happen someday in the distant future. But when you truly believe that God's favor is active right now, you begin to carry yourself differently. You walk boldly, not timidly. You speak with confidence, not hesitation. You approach the day like someone who knows heaven is backing every step. Expectation shifts how you see your surroundings. When you do not expect anything, you overlook blessings that are right in front of you. You call coincidences what are actually divine setups. But when you walk in expectation, you recognize the fingerprints of God in small moments. The phone call you receive out of nowhere is not random, it's favor. The opportunity that shows up after you thought it was too late is not luck, it's favor. The peace that floods your heart in the middle of chaos is not accidental, it's favor. Living in expectation means you refuse to let fear dictate your decisions. Fear says, don't try, you'll fail. Expectation says, God is with me, and if he opened the door, I cannot lose. Fear says, you don't have enough resources. Expectation says, if God has called me, he will provide. Fear says, you're not worthy. Expectation says, I am chosen, and his favor is my qualification. Walking in expectation is choosing to believe God's promises over the voice of doubt. This posture also affects how you carry yourself around others. People can sense when you believe in what God has placed on your life. Expectation shows in your body language, in your tone, in your decisions. You no longer walk with your head down, apologizing for taking up space. You walk with your head lifted, shoulders squared, because you know you are not moving on your own authority, but under the covering of divine favor. And that confidence often opens doors before you even knock, because the world responds to people who carry an aura of purpose. Expectation also changes how you handle setbacks. Someone without expectation will see a closed door and give up. But someone walking in expectation will look at the same closed door and say, this only means God has something greater prepared. When a plan falls through, expectation whispers, all things are still working together for my good. When people walk away, expectation says, if they left, they were not assigned to my destiny. Expectation doesn't crumble when life shakes because it is rooted in the unshakable favor of God. Carrying expectation means you prepare for a blessing before it arrives. You pray like the answer is already on the way. You plan like the opportunity is already confirmed. You praise like the breakthrough has already happened. That preparation is not wasted energy. It is a sign of faith. It is saying, I believe God so deeply that I will act as though his favor has already manifested, even before I see it with my eyes. And sooner or later, your preparation collides with manifestation because expectation attracts fulfillment. So as you step into each new day, don't shuffle your feet. waiting to see what will happen. Walk boldly, as if the stage has already been set. Smile, speak, and move like someone who knows today is charged with favor. Live with the conviction that miracles are not just for tomorrow, but for right now. Because when you walk in expectation, you align yourself with heaven's rhythm, and you make room for favor to flow freely in every part of your life.